Hello, yogis. So this is an at-home practice tutorial demonstrating one of my favorite types of inversions. And you can use the support of a chair or a couch at home. And I'm going to show you some basic at-home props that you can use too. And the benefits of this practice help with inflammation. They also help just a more passive release for the psoas. Depending on which variation you're doing, it can be very calming for treating insomnia. So a great practice to do right before bed. It can also help to kind of connect with the thyroid and the thymus glands as well in support of your metabolism and your immunity. So we're going to start with just the most simple, less props as possible, and then I'll kind of layer on some props. So first is just setting yourself up next to the support you want to be in. And remember that this is your own practice in your own body, and everyone's anatomy is different. So it's going to be a different experience per each person based on, what the height ratio is of your chair, the length of your femur, your limbs, your spine. So just take that all into account and really learn to listen and trust your body. If it's telling you to, scoot in a little closer or move a little further away, listen to that. If it doesn't feel like you can rest and rejuvenate and restore, then make those adjustments for you, because these practices that I'm going to show, or these techniques, should invite you to really just let go, let gravity do the work. So you might start by having your shoulders or hips to a chair or a couch, and then you simply swing your legs up on the chair. And then I'm going to scoop my butt in as close as possible and slowly bring myself down onto the ground. I'm going to bring my ankles toward another and allow my knees to open up, nice and supported here. For me, it feels nice to open my arms along my torso, along my hips, palms facing up. And I might take a moment to walk the scapula in, lift the chest slightly, maybe nod my head yes or no, just to find that nice neutral alignment along the cervical curve, along the rest of the spine as well. And then just sensing the weight of my hips rest, the back of the heart, the back of the skull, sensing the thighs, the length of the thighs, their weight, just anchoring down into the hip sockets there, letting them sink in. And then I'm just going to encourage nice, long, deep breaths. And perhaps once you find yourself in that supported place, maybe take 5 to 10 deep breaths. And maybe a giant cat will walk by. And so again, this isn't me guiding you into the practice. It's just a demonstration tutorial. So another version I want to kind of quickly go through and demonstrate that I really like is also using a blanket to elevate the hips slightly more, or sorry, a pillow. That's a pillow, not a blanket. And then I'm going to also show one more version with both a blanket and a pillow. So the same thing is you just have your seat a little more raised, and then swing those legs up and then recline your way down. You can also play here once you're there. Maybe the legs feel nice to kind of extend up toward the sky, to swim them around a little bit if you need some movement to free up some tension areas. But you might play with, what does that feel like with having the hips a little more raised? You might notice for some of you that brings a little more pressure down into the head as the hips are more elevated there. So I'm going to demonstrate another version that is a little more supportive for the neck, especially for those of you that have tight necks. So then you would want to use a blanket. And I really love this version here. Especially like in the morning if I want to do it, when my neck is a little more tighter, if I'm sleeping. So you fold the blanket, and again, you're gonna have to adjust to like the height, but I'm just gonna put it alongside the pillow. So this is better done with the pillow, so your hips are also raised. And then essentially same thing. I'm gonna come to my chair, my couch with the shoulders. I'm gonna swivel my legs up. And then when I recline down, I want to have a sense that my shoulders land on the blanket. So I'm just gonna move my blanket a little bit further out. And then, so my shoulders are supported, but my neck is actually off the blanket. And then that gives me a lot more space on my neck. And then my arms can kind of explore where they want to be. And then I'm just going to take some nice deep breaths. Again, my legs can be supported on that chair, ankles together, knees wide, or thighs parallel. You can play with what feels right for you. You can always bring the legs up. You can explore reaching the toes toward the head. Just give yourself some time once you get settled in just to sink into those sensations, to perhaps close your eyes down so that you can be curious about what it is you're experiencing in this present moment with this posture, with this orientation and space, with your breath. So I hope that you will play along with those variations of that inversion. An inversion is simply when you're allowing your heart to be slightly above your head. Now, this is a very, very subtle variation as we're on our back, and it's really only when your hips are slightly raised. But take it slow and find what supports you. And I look forward to any feedback or comments, or even if you have particular areas that you would like to explore opening up. Thank you very much and enjoy the practice.